Oh,
What's up, everybody?
what's up, everybody? Bobby started it for me. Shawn here with another Live to Roll live for you guys. Today, Bobby will kind of be the star of the show here today. He did some really cool fitness challenge over the weekend, and something that I don't think a lot of us would be willing to even try doing. But it's awesome. So we're gonna let him talk about that stuff, and we'll share all the stuff from the weekend, and we got some pictures and stuff for you guys. So let's get into it. I'm Shawn. I'm a C5, C6 quadriplegic from a snowboarding accident 21 years ago. Tom, you want to go for it?
Tom Conaway, C6B, quadriplegic, last 27 years, coming at you from Cali. Um, Paul, why don't you go? Save the best for last.
Sure, you bet. Uh, I'm Paul, C56 Quad as well, coming at you from Saskatchewan, Canada. And Tom's really good at pronouncing that.
Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
I,
Yeah, way better than I
I was
could.
gonna say I always fuck it up too. Tom is he actually made sure to get the pronunciation learned
I
correctly.
mean, it's such a cool name of a city to live in. Like, how could you not have it down?
It's city in Providence, right? Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Is that
Province.
province? What did I say?
Yeah,
Province?
Saskatoon's the city,
You
the
said
province is
Providence.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very cool.
All right,
How
Bobby, ready?
What up, everybody? I'm Bobby Rohan, C5, C6. This month is 36. A few days, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, something like that days left.
Damn.
And it'll be 36 years and still trying to go strong.
Still going strong.
Yeah, I was gonna say still going super strong, man.
Still trying.
I
Going
named this thing Bobby is a beast because it's true, dude. You're a beast, man. You're in your 50s now, just doing like challenging yourself to like pretty major fitness type challenges and things, and even like your long rides and stuff you did like at 50, and like you've done a lot, man. You're just definitely should be proud of all that stuff. It's really really awesome and inspiring.
Um,
Don't inflate his ego too much, okay? We don't want his head blowing up over here.
yeah,
I'm
be
just kidding.
careful. Be careful.
No, I mean, Bobby, honestly, like you are a big inspiration to me as someone who is older and like you got a couple of years on me, which, I don't often find in the disabled community. So it's hard for me to kind of, see and judge how other people are doing, but your strength and your health and your success, is only improving the further into your injury and the older you get. And it's given me a lot of perspective and a lot of hope and also a lot of drive to like, get my shit together, to get my body moving, and to try to be like Bobby, baby.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is. I feel the same way. I'm like definitely inspired by Bobby, and I'm like, because I'm looking at that too. I'd like, I am now 42. I turned this last year. Like, I will be 50 probably sooner than I know it's gonna end up coming fast. So like, I am looking at you as like a little bit of a barometer for like, all right, I need to start doing some of this fitness stuff. Like, I want to be as healthy as Bobby is when I am 52. Like when I'm like in 10 years. Like I want to be that's that's my goal to just follow behind you, man.
I just want to be Bobby. I just want to change my name. I want to move to Long Beach, get a cool house and a cool man cave.
Okay, I don't want to ask quite that much, but yeah,
Um,
I'm older than him and been in a chair longer, and I'm trying to keep up to him. Yeah, it's a challenge.
No,
It's a
even
good
you,
challenge.
Paul, man. You are also honestly a testament to the fitness stuff as well. You guys are both coaches on staying driven. You guys are both actively working out, doing crazy long cycle rides and different things. Like, so yeah, you're. I know no shade to you, and I know you helped coach Bobby on this. That was one of the reasons why we wanted to also make sure to invite you. You and Steph the Hammer. You guys is also the founder, I think, for Staying Driven. You guys kind of all did you guys kind of train together, Bobby, and then Paul coaching, or how do you guys do it?
so yeah, I mean, Paul, you can go and start off on the silly journey. I mean, and I guess we can start where it started with Steph, is the founder of our Staying Driven live.com. I guess we can say the official, but she was into something called CrossFit, and we got into it, but over I can tell it wasn't our thing to be in those competitions the way it was laid out, I guess. I don't know. Would you say that, Paul?
Yeah, it wasn't our thing. I mean, we did some online together. We kind of made our own competitions and did some, and it was fun way back in the day. I know I've got some videos of some, and they're entertaining to watch some of those movements that we did. Um, that was back in the early days, like 2021, 2022. Seems like just yesterday, but and then from there it kind of evolved, and she found this RYROX thing there a couple of years ago, and she competed in New York in, was it the spring, like a year ago?
Summer. I would say it was dead in like July or August, something like
Yeah,
that.
it was because that's coming up. So she
Hmm.
did that as a partner with a partner. So she did that one, and then Bobby and I got looking into this and looking at the movements and looking at the course, and Bobby got to compete in it in Anaheim there back in December, at the beginning of December. You were just pumped about that, Bobby, when you got done. You weren't sure what it was going to be like going in.
Yeah, we didn't
Didn't
know
really
what
train as
we didn't know what
much.
we signed up for.
Yeah,
It was kind of I did it, and I think we talked about it on the show of this competition that, and we'll talk about more what the competition is. But I did
yeah,
it, and got through it, and I was in bed for 2 to 3 days, but um,
yeah,
and then when we thought, this is sustainable, we can try this again after some time of healing, but we looked at another one, and Houston became kind of good target to do in March, and that's where we kind of went from there, and then kind of Paul helped take over from there with me.
All right.
yeah.
Let me ask a question real quick. What was the event? What did you go to Houston to do? Like, I'm still not super clear. Was it a CrossFit event? Was it
You,
like a marathon? Like, what was it?
do you want me to show some pictures while you're talking, Bobby? Also, I was going to ask you.
So let's bring up the map. I don't know if you can find that
Yeah,
map. There's like
because it's always the same
Give me
course
a
for
second to
every
look for it
Hyrox.
because you sent a lot of
yeah,
pictures.
yeah, I know. Sorry, and sorry I didn't have time to label them. I was like, ugh.
No, it's okay. I got it. I found it.
This is an event that started in Europe, so it's come over from Europe to North America, and it's in a lot of different cities in the States. It hasn't been in Canada yet, but I understand there's one planned in Toronto later on this year. So it's been going on for a couple of years, and they have a really good adapted. It's new, I would say. They adapted. I don't know if to call it a division, Bobby, but in the rule book they have the adapted piece laid out really, really well. And Bobby's kind of breaking the trail for some of that with some of the movements.
Okay, so I tried to
Hydrox.
blow it up so you can see it good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
high rock.
So as you can see, it's RYROX is the official. It's that's more of an energy drink, I guess, and they make a lot of those products to keep you going and stuff like that. So if you're looking at this map, you can see on the left at the very top. There's they're numbered. The first one is numbered very small, called Skierg, and then there's sled and number 2 and number 3. One's a push and one's a pull. And then just because on our end it's kind of blurry, so I can't really tell where number 4 is.
I've got them up here, Bobby. Do you want me to read them off?
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's 8 different stations you go to. After you're completed each station, you have to wheel a certain distance around the track. So the first one is skiing. So you do the skier, and then you have to wheel. Then you go on to the sled push, and then you need to wheel. Sled
So,
pull.
and when he says sled push, we hook up a sled behind me of a weighted sled that is 65 pounds and strap it to my chair. There you go.
Yeah.
And I have to push this sled and the bottom of that base. There you go, Shawn. That is 65 pounds, all steel metal.
So, and then the next one is a sled pull. I'm guessing you probably got a picture of that too, Shawn, where he does it, but he's got, so he's pulling it backwards. So he's actually got to wheel that sled backwards with the sled pull.
I'm trying to find it. I saw it just a second
That's
ago.
okay. Yeah.
That's fine, yeah.
Sounds
From
like
there,
pretty light work, Bobby.
And what?
I said, sounds like pretty light work. I just,
Oh, it is.
yeah. Then he goes to what they call the burpee broad jump, which the way Bobby did that was a wheelie and then a burpee through a certain distance. Again, I
80,
believe that was
80 meters.
80 meters, yeah. And then a rowing pull, which was 500 meters. And then a farmer's carry, 200 meters, sandbag lunge, and wall balls. And Bobby can tell you a little bit more about the
Yeah,
farmer's
I know.
carry using the
And
wall
as
ball.
Shawn puts
Found
it
wall
up,
balls, I think.
yeah, there's the wall balls, and that's the last one. And so that's a 4-pounded weighted ball that I have on my lap, and I have to bring it up and completely over my head to make an official count. If I don't go past my head, it's called a no count, so they won't count it as something I did. So it's kind of like these 8 events. You start out running, you go around in a circle, and then you go to the first, and then you run again around the course, go to the second, run around. And it's like an endurance athlete. And, you know, what made me really fall in love with it is it kind of reminded me back when I was 17 doing triathlons, 16, 17 doing triathlons. And it was just me against the clock. I wasn't racing anybody. And if I was, I didn't care. And so it's just some kind of endurance athlete that gave me the high that I needed and the so-called life, I guess you can say.
And it's got good movements for you too, right? Would you agree with that? Like the movements most of them are pretty adaptable for your
All of
level.
them are somewhat adaptable. Yeah. So this is kind of where the sled is in front of me now, and I got to pull it backwards. It's funny. I didn't get many photos of this one.
I was gonna say there's quite a few of your pushing ones, but the pull one there was I didn't see too many others. But
So that's the sled pull, and then the burpee jump was just what makes it hard with the wheelies as a C56 quad. You're on like this thin carpet, and after you've done these running, skiers, and sled push and pull, it gets you a little shaky to do a wheelie. So I pop up and I do a wheelie. And the further you can go the wheelie, the better, because then you don't have to do a burpee. So once I come down, I'm like, oh, crap. I have to do a burpee. And for me, a burpee is I have to go down and try to touch my toes. Come up, I do a press out and an overhead clap each time. So it's not a hard thing where somebody with no triceps, their burpee would be pressing out of their wheelchair and like a pressure release. Mickey, who's done 1,000 of them, and she loves burpees. And don't deny it, Mickey. I know you're in the chat. Don't deny it, but she presses out of her chair.
there's the other pull one I found.
Oh yeah, there
I
you
couldn't
go.
find one of you doing a wheelie in there. So I don't know if there was one in there of the wheelie, but
Yeah, it might look like something different because to get it in midway, I don't know if they got a video of it. So that's the competition. The reason why I do it, it's more like it reminded me when I was younger. And I feel like getting older is the part that sucks. I wish all of this was back when I first got hurt. You know, when I talk about my hand cycle and the adaptive way it can attach to my wheelchair, the way I can go out on an e-bike and go forever and come back is amazing. And now it's finally here. And now this kind of event is coming up where it's like, oh my gosh, it's not a triathlon, but it makes me feel amazing. Bring that picture up because that's the skier. That's the first one. And I have it here in my room, which is right over behind me. But that was amazing. The lady had to hold me up because the platform isn't um, the size of my wheelchair. So, and she was amazing. She turned out amazing person, amazing friend now from England. Love her to death. And um, she just was amazing for our friend the next day.
That's really cool. It looks like you had quite a bit of people that they were like, oh, here, let me see. I just found the one. You also getting interviewed here.
Yeah, I didn't know what to say. I was like, after doing an event like that, I just
Why aren't you shirtless like those other dudes? Just kidding.
I know. Tell me about it. I thought about that. There's like, you couldn't pay me $1 million. Well, maybe $1 million to take off my shirt.
Yeah.
And then here's you and Leslie, also support. Oh.
So Leslie, this is she's like a sister to me. We were roommates. She was my aide, so of course I need people to help me out. And the picture that Shawn was showing just before on the skier, I'm wearing those active hands, and she helps me put them on. She brings down the one rope. I bite on the rope so there's not so much tension. So she can get the strap on the handle as tight as can be. And then she does the other hand. So she was kind of my, she was my guide. And then when I got to the sled push and pull, she's the one that got the strap hooked to my wheelchair. There was only one event, and if you can find it, it's Shawn, there's two kettlebells.
I saw those.
She got me on this rowing machine, and I haven't talked to you yet, Paul, but it went way better this time than
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like you've got good position there.
Yeah, I had a better position this time.
Yeah.
Except
Bobby and I were kind of working on the rowing thing before the competition to figure out the best position as a quad to do that with no balance. It felt good though, eh, Bobby?
Oh yeah, much better this time. And then there was one where they put these, and this is, believe it or not, you think just putting like, and Tom, you know this, putting your groceries on your lap and filling up that basket and you're going, and there's some weight to your basket. But so I have one of our friends, Chad from Chair Life, who's on our Rolling Over the Hill, brought down this tray for me to use, and there's two 24-kilogram kettlebells on me.
Oh,
and
nice.
she was not able to even lift up one. And luckily, I had a judge. Yeah, I had a judge with me, Bryce. Shout out to Bryce. He was so amazing. Put these two kettlebells on me. And then if you ever Google what are 224 kettlebells, how much it weighs in pounds? 130 pounds.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
when I saw that, I thought, whoa.
My hips were sore from just having that on and pushing just on the cement 80 meters. That's it.
Damn.
So getting through that was the toughest one, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because there's so much weight there, you're just like afraid to move, and either one it falls and hit your toe or fall to the side. So.
And then what are these ones? Oh, oops, I was gonna ask.
Is it the sandbag lunge?
Oh, it's a sandbag, I think. Yeah, is that what that is?
Yeah, how did that go, Bobby?
No, we're not going to talk about this one.
Talk about that one.
That
looks like a heavy ass bag to pick up off the ground.
It's 10 kilograms, so
22 pounds.
22 pounds, and you have to put it up on your lap and over. So I did this at the first one, and I got halfway through, and the head judge came over and goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't know." He goes, "Your modification is to put the sandbag on your lap, and then you push through this course as fast as you can." So that's what I did. I'm not happy about it.
How many times did you do it that way, the way we trained?
I only did 6.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And then you threw it on your lap and you just wheeled like a bugger.
Yeah, and we talked about it. I told them we need to do it, but we're going to make a modification. The people really listen to the modifications that we need to use. So we trained, Paul had me buy this weighted kettlebell, but it's, in a bag. And we put the sandbag in there, and it's round where it's not long. So the roundness came up and over my lap, and instead of being so long where it was really hard to get over. So yeah, I'm gonna let you pick yours up, but
Sounds like some pretty light work, Bobby. I don't know what you're excited about.
yeah,
I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is the round kettlebell. So it's a bag with, we got sandbags in it, or I got weighted bags in it. And that's what Bobby and I trained with when he was training, was these smaller ones. The long ones we have, but like Bobby said, they're really awkward. So
I can imagine.
What did you think when you suggested this idea, Bobby?
Yeah, so they're going to let us move to that. So,
and then are they going to consider a different weight, or what are they doing for weight?
No, we'll do the same weight as long as I can have this back. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to answer Derek or a couple from the comment. Olivia, I love the hashtag Be Like Bobby. I think I'm going to have to. That'd be my new.
I said it. I was the first one that said it. Just so everybody knows. Give me credit.
God, I didn't hear you, Tom. I'm sorry.
I didn't say hashtag, but I said I want to be like Bobby.
Oh, there you go. And you put it. Yes.
Glad
I remember. So, and Derek asked, I'm 39 and I'm injured 15. One thing I worry about getting older and injured is how bad my shoulder pain will get because it's already painful. Yeah, and that is something that you have to consider if you're doing something like this. I, 35, 36 years now in a chair, I have no shoulder pains. I have aches, here and there, but no shoulder pain. Of all the years I played wheelchair rugby and being active and still never using any electric device to my chair like motion wheels or a smart drive. I mean, now I use a scooter that helps out here and there on longer distance. But I think one of the things for me of not having shoulder pains is really every time I take into some of these athletic events of all the years of rugby, I would get there way earlier than anybody else to warm up. And everybody showed up late, and everybody showed up where their equipment wasn't ready. So it gave me time to really warm up before I started doing anything hard. And when I coach online for everybody, and this includes my own workouts, I do a longer work. Paul and I, adopted that long warm up and stretching and cool down. It's really important.
It says you gotta be ready.
Yeah, instead of trying to just go and move. So that's one of the things. But I know some people during their injury have some shoulder injuries, and yeah, that's got to be hard.
I know one thing. It does look like from one of these pictures you had a few scrapes and things as well from from the pushing and the weights and things. Your wrist looks swollen too, but I don't know if that is or if it's just like where the cuts.
It's so funny. The right hand where it says it's a tattoo that says "just breathe," but that hand I had wrapped up with athletic tape prior, and that seemed to be got really scraped up for whatever reason. The left hand I didn't have taped up, and the two that you see lower on the wrist, you have to wear this this bracelet to get on the track, and it's got a metal part where it makes it tight and you can't loosen it up unless you cut it off, so you can't transfer it to somebody else. That was digging into my wrist that I didn't realize. It didn't do it the first time, but it did it the second time. And then another reason for the blisters on top of my thumb, which there's not a good picture of that was really bleeding. and the lower palm, or that upper palm part that you saw, the air quality is different, and I had a lot of humidity inside that room. So my skin is moist that I didn't realize that I didn't get at Anaheim, not one blister. So that was kind of different. Something to think about that I never could have imagined. So next time I would go in it a little bit different in that kind of environment.
This is mostly a personal inquiry, but how's your butt?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's doing okay. I'll tell you, it did has I have a red spot that we managed and have but it's by the time I got home, it's almost the redness is all gone, except for and my wound looks about the same. This is my head judge that followed me. His name is Bryce. Just amazing, helping me along, and whenever I didn't know where to go, and kind of just led me the way. So he was amazing, and there was a couple others out there that really helped to make sure I was doing the correct distance. These guys, yeah, Leah inside in the middle there from England. She helped me with that skier, and then Joffrey on the end there. He's the one that came over. He goes, "What are you doing?" And make sure I did something correctly with the sandbag up and over. These guys were just amazing. And then the next day, they really helped out my partner, Steph, get through her event. And I was happy to complete my event in 2 hours and 17 minutes. I beat my time by almost an hour, or just a little over an hour.
Yeah.
The course, the running distance was just a little bit different, Paul, that I haven't been able to tell you, but all the other sections I got through faster than I did. And
sandbag lunge would make a big difference, right?
Yeah.
Because now, first time you said you doubled the distance on that one. Was it the farmer care? You doubled the distance last time because there wasn't anybody there to tell you how far to go.
Yeah. So it helped to get a good time. And then the next day, watching my friend Steph, who started our Staying Driven Live, her body isn't meant for this type of event in some ways. And her running was one lap longer than mine, and hers took 6 hours and 45 minutes. So you can see the difference. And they helped her out along the way every second. Just amazing people and amazing family. If you looking for something to be involved with another family, they just really, everybody embraced me, let me be wherever I wanted to be. And just, it was great the next day to, they're like, "Oh, come here, let's help your friend out." And just got me involved in helping out other athletes as well.
That's
How was
really
the
cool.
trap?
Go ahead, Tom.
No, Shawn, go. You go.
No, I was gonna say that's awesome because I was gonna ask Paul earlier if he plans to compete at one, and then Leah's now challenged me that I need to try to compete. So I'm like, I may have to train for another couple years, but
Yeah, actually, I absolutely want to. The Anaheim one, that one wasn't. I had just been down there in the summer, so going back in December to Anaheim wasn't going to work. And then the Houston one, just with some personal stuff, the timing didn't work for me. Otherwise, I was going to join Bobby in Houston. But hey, it was. I'm honored to be able to help him out as a pseudo coach or whatever you want to call it. We worked out some stuff together, and I got to do some training together. But I absolutely want to do it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Is it's awesome that now, like with you and stuff starting to do it, it like opens up the door at this thing for. I feel like you guys can start to grow this into get more and more people showing up. Sometimes have more of the adaptive athlete.
And that's what I'm hoping for in the long run is get others who either C5-6 to anywhere as a quadriplegic, more or less. If they can accomplish something like that, it can be adapted. And that's the beauty of this sport. Now, it's pretty insane, and it's not for, somebody, not for everyone, I should say. It just turned out it's just for me and what I feel comfortable with, and what, I need. Another hashtag I came up with is, hashtag I'm sick in the head, to want to do something like this, So it was better when it's in Anaheim, because that night I get to go home and sleep in my own bed. But when you travel for these things, it's like, whew.
Yeah.
So
Another thing that's popping up with these is affiliate gyms. So even locally here where I am, there's an affiliate gym, a RYROX affiliate gym that's having a competition, a doubles competition and a half RYROX in May. So these are popping up all over. And I think, Bobby, you said there was one near you as well. So that might be a nice way for people to get introduced to something like this if it's something they're interested in, this type of a competition.
thanks, Leon. Have a good one, bud.
Got a couple questions, Bobby.
Yeah.
Were you the only quad competing? Were there any other quadriplegics competing?
So I was the only quad competing. There was one other gentleman in a chair, double amputee. He was a badass.
A
His name was
beast.
Mike. You follow
Riley.
him on Instagram.
Mike Riley.
Riley, yeah, Mike Riley. Very nice guy. The way he did his burpees. Woo!
That was something else.
Yeah, something else to see, where a guy who has his full upper body and his hips in his chair, he can get down in front of him, lay down on his stomach, bring his chair forward, and then sit up back up in his chair. Yeah, it was just
When he did the burpee, he got out of his chair. He
got
did
out of his chair.
got out of his chair on the floor, did his version of a burpee, back in his chair, did a wheelie, did a nut, got out of his chair again. Yeah, I saw some videos. It was insane. It was impressive.
Yeah, and
But I
then
mean,
there
you
was
got
some others.
he's got too.
Yeah, there were some others that were, one gentleman. He was a little person. There was a couple, about maybe 5 neurologicals. They had some kind of neurological where one side might have been affected. Really nice guy. His name was Jimmy, who him and I were just kind of racing together side by side for a little bit, supporting each other. So, but as quad, so far, I was the only one there, and at Anaheim. I don't know if I've heard of any other quads. I'm in a category, adaptive category. It's called seated with no hand or hip function. Um, and I'm hoping this sport grows with some others that can do something like this. And there's been one gentleman in Canada that reached out to me, and he's training right now for one event, and he's supposed to go to Miami. And I'm hoping to get others and have competition. I don't care about winning, but just about somebody finding something they love and are passionate about, like I am with when it comes to athletics.
My other question is, how was the travel?
Sucked.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, simply put,
It just, traveling sucks when it goes to airplanes, not for the typical reasons that we remembered, but excuse me, it was more like we flew Frontier, going to LAX, trying to get on Frontier. We couldn't find the gate because they didn't have it posted out front. It turned out it was somewhere in Southwest. They had one little box kiosk that you can get. And then getting through, TSA, they were just really, really tight with me, meaning, trying to check every get up. No, they were respectful when I said, no, I can't get up, this or that. No, I can't take off my shoes. No, please don't take it off. I could fall backwards. I was wearing my big exercise belt around me. And he's like, is there any way we can take this off? I'm like, nope, I'll fall out of my chair. And he was okay with that. But it just took, by me doing that, it took longer. Then we had to go up and down another elevator to find this tram that took us to another side of the airport on one of the new terminals they built there at LAX in the middle of nowhere. And where I guess it's all international flights except Frontier, and it was just like, just took 2.5 hours to get through all that mess. And it was just like, God, nothing to do with my disability. It was just a pain in the ass getting on and off. And the people helping at these airports were amazing. And then arriving kind of the same way. You're not familiar with your surroundings, and Houston's airport was split up in these sections. Like, oh, if I go out there and get a taxi, right? Nope. You have to go to Terminal A, get on the tram, blah, blah. You're just like, wow, it just makes it for a long day. But Tom, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I owe you big gratitude for Uber. Yes, you. Thank God you have told me, try Uber Waves. Even though I don't have it here in my city, you have it. And the next morning, I had called all these places to try to get a ride home. And for shits and giggles, I looked on Lyft, nothing. And I usually ride Lyft. So I'm like, okay, let me download this app, Uber. Tried it. Uber Waves. Okay, let's see. Boom, you have a ride coming. She texts me right away. You have one chair or two wheelchairs? I'm like, one. She's like, I'll be there in 40 minutes. And that's when we wanted the ride, in 40 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, yeah. So we had one good thing happen, and that was the Uber. And I would have never thought of it if you didn't tell me about it, Tom.
I'm glad that it worked out.
What kind of vehicle do they have?
It was a minivan, backloader.
They have standard vans. They have like Chevy vans, but they also have a couple of Mercedes vans that are modified. And I've gotten those a couple times with my buddies. I feel like we're like in a luxury vehicle. I'm like, damn, this is so nice. At least here in LA.
Beauty.
Didn't we see something? Didn't Uber like buy, because of like those were never available, like when they first made them available a few years ago, that they bought like a fleet of vehicles that basically people like either rent or like are from, like, because I'll see them, I'll see wheelchair accessible vans at the park we go walk at. Sometimes they're just parked in the parking lot, like waiting, like hanging out. Like, I'm like, I know it's an Uber because it's just like a.
And I don't know if you're going to say something, Tom, but what I found out from Houston about how Houston worked for their Uber Wave. But were you going to say something, Tom?
They contract transportation service. The one here in LA, it's called like Tower Transportation or something like that. I've talked to the drivers about it before, but they're a whole third-party company where they're like, background checked and like, drug tested and stuff, and like make sure that they have like maybe a little bit more training to secure wheelchairs and like operate a vehicle with someone in a wheelchair and stuff like that. So they're not like your typical Uber driver. I think they get paid hourly to just sit around and wait for a ride, and then I think they have some kind of deal where they get some part of the Uber payout too. But yeah, Uber contracts the company. At least here in LA, they might have their own fleet elsewhere, but I think that's how they do it.
So that's what it sounded like Houston was too. It's a company that usually their main source of income is taking people to dialysis. For the main thing, it's called non-medical services. And I found one to take me to LAX and back. And so I was telling him, I like, tell your boss about Uber Wave. So when you don't have, you said, oh, today was a low day. I could do any ride, and I'm doing yours, and I have a couple hours to burn. I'm like, well, your boss can sign up on Uber Waves, and then you can pick up a ride and make a little bit of money. And
well, see, that's the thing. I don't think you can be an Uber Wave driver if you sign up through the regular Uber hiring process.
I said you have to check in with them. I didn't say that you can just pick up anybody, but I said, you have to. Your services would have to go through the program. So so it seems like that's how it works, and it worked, Tom. So thank you.
Awesome. You're very welcome.
And so Shawn, enough about Bobby, because I'm.
Well, I have two quick questions for you.
Okay.
One in the chat, Jay asked, "Is the push or the pull harder with the sled?" He asked early on, or should they asked early on?
Yeah, to push that sled forward was way harder. Going backwards is way easier. you can use more of our biceps. When we're quads, I think our strongest part is our biceps, and
Yeah.
I can use my biceps a lot more. Going forward, I had to keep going back a little and then go forward as hard as I can and move
Like
like a couple
slide.
inches. And then I go back and then I go forward. And that's what really tore up my thumb because every time I was pushing forward, it's just digging into my hand rim. So going back and pulling it backwards was so much easier.
Okay, that's what I did figure because even for me, like the way even like I get into my van or and like up steeper ramps, even if I don't have the power or even if I do, I go up backwards. Like I do that backwards. And then
So yeah,
so
guys,
Leah had asked what you ate, and I know you actually had sent me a couple of pictures, so I was gonna pop those up.
That's my dinner after. So dozen oysters after, which we shared with my friend Leslie. And then
And then there's one more
my favorite thing,
the steaks, yeah, or the
a ribeye and a filet, a 16 and a 14 ounce.
and you had both of those?
you had
I
both.
shared, but I ate pretty much the majority of it.
I can feel my stomach now after a dozen
I was
oysters
gonna say
and
I don't know
two
about those oysters.
steaks.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I'm with you guys. You can have all the oysters, all 12 of them.
Not a problem.
I mean, heck, I just don't want to get that aroused. I mean, aren't they an aphrodisiac or something?
Nah.
Just the right amount of energy after something like that. No, I'm kidding. I love it that Black Olive, she said, Bobby said to the TSA, do you even lift, bro?
Oh yeah, that was a good comment. That was a funny one.
This guy, yeah, here's Ellen supporting me.
But
This was the next day, and the announcer there throughout the whole at Anaheim, he's just, he's like, you guys are all crazy. I'm just here to announce. He was really cool, just announcing him and his wife. His wife really helped me out the first time I did this because I'm like, I show up to this, I'm like, I don't even know what the hell I'm doing here, and she's like, let's follow me, and she really helped me out. So they were awesome people.
nice, man. Yeah, that's good. That's why I saw that one. I noticed Ellen was in it, and we hadn't shown her on the thing, so I figured.
Yeah.
Want to try
But prior to it, it's the night before I had just had some pasta with a little bit of fettuccine, and that was it. Some chicken for lunch, and then the next morning I just ate, drank my coffee, ate my protein bars, and then my energy drinks. That's all. I don't want to put too much in my stomach the morning before, and luckily I got to leave at 10 a.m. There's some athletes that didn't leave that night until 6 p.m. as they started their race.
They started at 6.
6.
Oh,
They
wow.
weren't done Saturday night until the last athlete came across at 9:55.
Oh,
night.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried that Steph was going to run out of time until the event would be over.
There was only a handful of people out there left.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And you traveled back Sunday?
Monday morning, yesterday.
Yes.
How was the flight back? Any better than the flight there?
Way better, way better. We found the gate easy, thanks to Tom. Uber there.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. It was easy. Just us being on a plane, Shawn knows the deal. It just, you sit there and you're just dying to move on my cushion. I'm up high and just like,
Not comfortable.
Yeah, not comfortable. They make everything so tight that you just have no room in front of you.
They're not built for people who are like 6 feet and over, especially if you're sitting on a cushion.
Yep. But let's hear about your weekend, Shawn, and Live to Roll was representing.
Yeah, we did a little event on Saturday that was put on by Casa Colina, Triumph Foundation, and The Perfect Step. Which The Perfect Step, we actually interviewed Hal, the owner, I think on Friday at the expo, and we're gonna have him on for a full interview soon here. But it's like an after rehab gym, so people get like really like, extra like levels of kind of therapy. And they're actually, I was just talking to them, they're actually in the process of building like a full therapeutic pool in a new building. So they'll have like water like therapy and stuff, and they're actually building an open gym so people can just pay a membership and we can just go there and work out on adaptive gym equipment that they'll have in there. If you don't want like one-on-one
Which
specialized
that's what
therapy.
needs to happen more with some of these gyms like that.
So yeah, they're awesome. So the three foundations or companies and hospital all put it on, and it was basically they just had rugby over the line, which is baseball, and then tennis, and then the second half of the day they actually only had tennis. They did a doubles tournament, so it was like one wheelchair user and one walking able-bodied player, and they did like a pairs, and they actually had a full-fledged tournament with like a winner and stuff at the end, which so it's kind of cool. It's a little bit different. Yeah, so we kind of tried to show some of that, highlight some of that stuff that was there. And it was the first time they've ever done it, the first inaugural one. So they're hoping to continue doing those annually. And it's all thanks to a lot of it's thanks to this lady, Lisa. Is it Nelson? Shoot, I'm blanking on her last name right now. But she's in charge of, what I'm talking about, right? The blonde lady, Lisa.
No. I was thinking Lisa from Casa Clina.
Yeah, from Casa Clina. Yeah.
Oh, she helped put this one together?
She put it all together. That's all.
Oh, that's right. This is the Casa.
Because it was by Casa, yeah. And she runs their outdoor recreation, like sports and recreation. She's in the process of having a rugby court built at Casa Clina and potentially a team. So that would be great. I wouldn't have to drive an hour for practices. I'll play for the Casa team. So
I'll come back for that.
So yeah, just it was really cool. It was a really fun, smaller event. I think it was maybe like 100 people there, maybe athletes and stuff playing and participating. But it was cool. It was fun. Nice, relaxing day. It was a beautiful day. It was like 65 degrees and sunny, so it was just a nice day out.
Did you try tennis?
I didn't. I actually didn't. I was gonna, I didn't even bring my rugby chair. I just pretty much went for the booth. If I would have realized that nobody was gonna come over to the booth areas during the festival, I probably maybe would have brought my rugby chair and played a little bit in the morning, and maybe. But we're actually, we talked to this guy Henry. Leah had met initially when he was like checking out the booth over the weekend at the expo. And he's actually one of the coaches for the USTA, the U.S. Tennis Association. He's
very nice guy.
Yeah, he's super nice, dude. Super.
He was at the expo.
He tried to buy a hat, and our hats don't fit him, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to order larger snapback hats. The man's got a head on him. So, but he's just a big dude. He's awesome. He was honestly super nice, super fun to talk to. But this Saturday, we're actually thinking about going. They're having an open practice for they're doing like monthly practices. And so we were thinking about going and checking it out. He invited us to I might try it. Maybe if I bring an active hand, I don't know. But at least I think it's cool to watch. It's cool to see. I think it's a fun sport, even in wheelchairs. Tennis is cool. So.
Leah. Yeah, get him out there, Leah.
My weekend consisted of copious amounts of green beer, a couple of very beautiful naked women, and lots and lots and lots of cocaine. But I'm just kidding.
Yeah, first I want to hear about.
I don't
want to hear about the.
I already didn't believe after the naked women. I was like, just kidding.
I think you'd be surprised, but.
Ooh. That'll be the after hours. That'll be on our fans only page.
Yeah, you gotta find the Tom fans only page for that.
Yeah, that's not an official Live to Roll sanctioned. Tom's on his own on those. I
hope everyone had a happy St. Patrick's Day yesterday. If you're celebrating and eating some corned beef and hash and drinking some green beer.
I didn't realize until we were halfway home that it was St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, I kind of forgot. I realized halfway through the day.
I know. I was just going off the day.
And don't worry, I was joking about the cocaine. No hard drugs. Just the good drugs. Just the fun ones. Hi, Albie. And I think Ben said what up earlier. I don't know if you're still hanging around, Ben, but love you, bud. Hope you're doing good. And Albie, if you're going to ask, yes, I'm going live tomorrow, 3:30. Come and check it out.
What do we have on the plate?
Yeah, we
So,
can
you know,
Right. Surprise,
uh,
Bobby. You haven't been there the last couple weeks. You have to show up and see this time.
I know.
here, let's do, before we do our shows real quick, I don't want to forget like last week, let's do our sponsors and then we'll go ahead and get into the shows for the week here as we wrap up for the day. Which one do you guys want to do, or you want me to go for it?
Can I say
Mobility
something?
professionals.
Go ahead,
Go
Bob.
ahead. No, you go.
No, I was just going to say too quick because we got 27 people here. Please hit that like button, smash it, whatever you need to. It really helps out. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And I want to give a shout out to what Paul and I, we are coaches at stayingdrivenlive.com. And that's where you can work out live with us. You're not alone. It's not an exercise video. It's working out with family and friends, because we become that just like we have here. And it doesn't matter what your ability is. It's just having some good time, staying in shape, and exercising. And we modify everything for you. You don't have to go out and know that I can't do a RYROX like you did, so I can't work out with. No, I don't usually work out like that because it would kill my body. We work out easy. We pick out some fun things. We make sure we modify it for you, and we make sure that if you need rest, take your rest, take your water. So come check us out at stayingdrivenlive.com.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a workout for you.
I will actually make sure to add the link for Staying Driven in here too.
Thank you.
For the description. Yeah, if people want to check it out and sign up. All right.
Yeah, really nice to saw in the chat there, Jay. It was great chatting with you on the weekend. Jay's just thinking about getting a bike, Bobby. We had lots of bike chats.
There we go.
Were you there too, Paul, in Houston?
In Houston, no, I wasn't in Houston. I was coaching from a distance.
You were just online. That's cool. That's
I was
awesome.
online, yeah. And Steph had FaceTimed us in there, so I saw some of Bobby's event live. It was fantastic. I'm proud of that dude. He did it, man.
We're all proud of you, Bobby. You're
Thank
awesome,
you.
dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, man.
Go ahead, Tom. Sponsor time.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. I'll do the sponsors and then I'll answer your question, Albie, about the healthy eating. Mobility Professional, your premier durable medical equipment company in Southern California. They are one of the few kind of smaller independent companies that can help you out with your wheelchairs and getting you your wheelchairs and keeping them maintained and getting them repaired and getting you other similar durable medical equipment. There's a couple of not so awesome big conglomerate companies that are ruining the business, and Mobility Professionals is one of the few that's, you know, being considerate and mindful and thinking of the disabled community when it comes to this kind of stuff. And they're a really, really awesome company. So because of that, go and show them some love. If you are lucky enough to be in the Southern California area, give Mobility Professionals a shout. Check out their website. If you're in need of a wheelchair, standing frame, shower chairs, other similar durable medical equipment, they'll hook you up. Similarly, their sister company, Urology Professionals, is a national company, and they can help you out with your urological supplies anytime, anywhere in the US of A. They'll make sure to get you your supplies regularly, on time, monthly, as expected, so you don't have to worry about not having enough catheters or not having the right supplies for when you got to go pee. So give them a call, give them a shout. They'll hook you up. Shout out Olivia, $20.
Yeah.
Hashtag be like
Thank you.
Bobby. Get it trending all over the world. Be like Bobby. Let's go. I want to be like Luna, or your other doggy's name, if I forgot.
Going up. Going up.
And Albie,
Wait.
do you guys generally eat healthy? I would say generally. Like, I certainly slam a cheeseburger and some French fries from time to time, but I would say, like, generally, I try to eat healthy.
Yeah,
know
I
if you
think that pretty much goes for all of us. We all pretty much generally do. I don't know if that's been true for my whole life. Injury, I for sure don't think it was, but
Not my whole life, but
I definitely do try to eat a little healthier. And the last few years, especially these last couple, I've tried to really track and
And it's always those questions that come at the very end. I think we can do a show on this, but yeah, generally, yeah, we tried it.
Done a show on it, and we got another show where food and nutrition is a kind of main theme. So if you want to talk more about it tomorrow, we can talk about it then too.
And when we're younger, we were in our 20s, and I think this goes for all four of us that we went to fast food a lot. It was easier going, when you were at school or your first job, or, when you're by yourself, you're like, just easier if I go to a fast food drive through, something like that. And we probably did it a lot. I know in my early 20s, I was doing it. It was easier trying to live on my own, but I think we're all guilty of that. And over time, you just realize, can't eat like this forever. And they changed a lot of the food too. It tastes like crap now.
Yeah, so
And
and I'm gonna
I,
update Tom's banner to maybe have some healthier food here in a little bit
There you
here.
go.
I mean,
On that note,
I like the cheeseburgers and pizza and hot dogs in the background, French fries. I would say, I mean, like honestly, just making a couple of small changes. Like if you drink soda, try to replace soda with something healthier that's just even sugar free. If you like snacking, don't snack on potato chips. Snack on nuts and fruits and seeds and other healthier options, snacks, popcorn, whatever that may be.
Beef
You
jerky.
know, if you drink a lot of beer, don't drink beer. Stick to liquor. Fewer calories. Um, just a couple small changes I think can make like a really significant difference. And those are a lot of the habits that I had when I was younger, like soda. I mean, I still love potato chips, but I don't buy them all the time because I don't want to do that. And just like habits and things like that. Just think about what you're putting in your body. If it has a lot of sugar and trans fats, maybe think about a similar option that's a little healthier.
yeah, no, that's definitely just be mindful of what you are eating, moderate things that might not be as healthy.
And my
Uh,
number one trick is I just don't buy the unhealthy stuff. If I don't have it in my apartment, I don't feel like the urge to eat it. If I buy healthy stuff
Yeah.
and have healthy things to eat when I get hungry, that's usually what I'll eat.
no, that's
Unless I
actually a
want to
good
like do an
thing.
Uber Eats order to McDonald's for like $30.
And Albie, to answer your question, tune into Tom's show tomorrow because he'll talk about food preparation. That's how you
Yeah.
do it. That's how you don't eat the fast food. The cans of sodas, very easy. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. I haven't had soda in over 25 years. I don't buy it. It's just not here in the house. It is now because my grandkid, but I don't have inkling because I've gone so far without it. It's just like, doesn't excite me. So turn into Tom's show. Tom, if a mental note to himself, he's going to talk about food preparation, and he does
And
a lot.
Albie's been hanging around the last couple weeks, so I'm sure he'll be there. And I appreciate you. Love all our international fam and all our local fam too. Um, Also, I think we have another show on Thursday, right, Sean?
Yeah, this Thursday, Brianna, Nikki, Ashley, Maya, and Jessica will be on, and they're actually going to be talking a little bit about just life, and then also like life day, because I believe yesterday Nikki and Ashley's was their anniversary of their accident, and I think Brianna's is Thursday, and then all the girls have them kind of I think sort of in the same general time frame, so they're going to kind of talk about that stuff, what that's like been like for them in yeah, just kind of general life talk. So tune in tomorrow, 3 o'clock. The girls will be on, and yeah, tune back next week. We will be back on Tuesday with another live stream. So make sure to check it out. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe. Click that little whatever that thing's called, the bell, so you get notified. But yeah, we appreciate everybody hanging out, watching. Olivia Black Olive, again, thank you for that super chat earlier. We really appreciate anything like that. And yeah, thanks to everybody for your support.
If
And yeah,
anybody else wants to give Lift Roll more of your money, just feel free. Just don't even think about it. Just do it.
let's do it.
And before
Yeah,
we sign off, I'm just going to show you. This is what it's all about. This is what I accomplished. It's called Houston Finisher. So this is what exactly I was shooting for. So it's a patch that will always be my little trophy case, much better than a trophy. So that's what we race for. So hopefully one day you'll get out there and challenge yourself.
Yeah, no, I think that's great for a lot of people. And you don't have to do the crazy fitness challenge Bobby did. Just challenge yourself in small ways, the little things. Those are always good to set little goals, little things like that. But but yeah, we appreciate everybody hanging out, watching. Thank you guys for being on the show, Bobby. You need to probably get some sleep, some rest, and I know your dog is hungry. I believe she was trying to tell you so.
Actually, she's missing me. She's
Oh yeah, because you
they
guys.
were they were funny last night. It's funny how dogs get mad at you, and you get home and you think they're going to be all over you, and nope. She was like, "Yeah, little shithead, you left me."
Yeah, I know the dogs are they're smart and they miss you and they don't they're gonna let you know.
Yeah.
All right,
Paul,
everybody, tune in
love you,
tomorrow.
Paul.
Good to see you guys.
Hope you and your family are doing awesome up there in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Ah, we're
And
doing. We're awesome.
always thinking about you guys. Sending you lots of love. So thanks for being here today with us.
Take care,
Yeah.
gang.
All right, you guys. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys next time and tune in tomorrow for Tom's Cooking.
Yes.